I wasn't looking for love, just quiet. I thought I was just coming here to retire quietly. A little beach town near Krabi, a few books, cold beer, the occasional sunset walk, nothing dramatic, just peace. After 20 years in hotels, I was done with chaos. Then she smiled, and everything changed. Her name was Somjai, and when she smiled at me across that bar, it was like someone turned the volume back up on my life. I wasn't looking for love, but somehow I found myself building an entirely new dream around her, a dream I didn't even know I still wanted. And then, one day, I got the email. It wasn't from her, it was from an old coworker back in Brisbane. The subject line was casual. "Hey, thought this might be you?" I clicked it. Attached was a screenshot from Facebook. Somjai with another man. Same bar, same smile, same tilt of the head, the same look I thought only I got. I just sat there staring at it. For a moment I couldn't even feel anger. It was deeper than that, like watching the version of me I'd worked so hard to become suddenly vanish. I thought I was being careful, smart, but love, or the idea of it, made me reckless. If you've ever looked at yourself in the mirror and thought, "Who is this person?" I get it. I was him. I still am. Please hit the like button, drop a comment, and let me know where you're watching from. And if you're one of those who keeps coming back for these confessions, super thank you, truly. You keep me grounded in the middle of all this. What happened with her shattered more than my plans. It forced me to admit I was the one who let it happen. Let me take you back to where it all started. I wasn't supposed to be in that bar. 3 months in Pattaya, and I'd been keeping to myself, reading on the beach, eating alone, avoiding the chaos that draws most Western men to this place. But that night, June 15th, the rain was coming down hard, and I ducked into the first place with a roof, beach road bar, nothing fancy. Plastic chairs, warm beer, karaoke machine buzzing with static. She was serving drinks to a table of drunk Germans, laughing at something one of them said. Not the forced laugh I'd learned to recognize from the other girls. This was real. Light. Musical. When she turned toward the bar where I was sitting, our eyes met and she smiled. Not the practiced smile either. Something genuine. Something that made my chest tighten, in a way I hadn't felt since Sarah left 2 years ago. "You want Chang beer?" she asked, already reaching for the bottle before I could answer. Her English was careful but confident. "You look sad, Kun." I wasn't sad. I was tired. Brisbane had drained everything out of me. 22 years managing the Riverside Hotel, watching entitled guests treat my staff like dirt, watching corporate suits squeeze every cent of profit while cutting every corner. The final straw was Sarah. "You're never really here," she'd said when she left, "even when you're sitting right next to me." She was right. I'd been running on empty for years. "Not sad," I told the girl. "Just tired." "Ah, tired. I understand tired." She set the beer down and leaned against the bar. "I am Somjai. Somjai means pure heart in Thai." "Everett," I said. "Means brave as a wild boar, but I don't feel very brave these days." She laughed again, that same real laugh. Et. Too long. I call you Kun Ev, okay?" "Okay." The Germans were getting louder, waving their hands for more drinks. She should have gone to them. Tips from 4 drunk tourists versus conversation with one quiet Australian, basic bar economics. But she stayed. "You live here now, Kun Ev?" "For now. Maybe longer. I sold everything back home. Thought I'd try something different." "Different is good. Same. Same is boring." She glanced at the Germans, then back at me. "You want different? Tomorrow I show you real Pattaya. Not tourist place. Real place." I should have said no. This wasn't part of my plan. Quiet retirement meant quiet. Alone. But when she smiled, waiting for my answer, I felt something wake up inside me. Something I thought was dead. "Okay," I said. She wrote her number on a napkin, drew a little heart next to it. You call me tomorrow? Yes? We go see beautiful temple. Very peaceful. You like peaceful. After she walked away to serve the Germans, I sat there staring at that napkin. The ink was already smudging from the humidity, but I could still make out the numbers, could still see that little heart. Brisbane felt like a lifetime ago. The gray mornings, the traffic jams, the endless meetings about profit margins and customer satisfaction scores. The apartment I'd shared with Sarah emptied of everything that made it feel like home. I'd left all of that behind, for quiet, for peace, for the absence of complications. But as I walked back to my hotel that night, Somjai's laugh still echoing in my head, I realized something terrifying. I didn't want peace anymore. I wanted to feel alive again. And for the first time in years, I did. The rain had stopped. Pattaya glittered around me like a promise, like a second chance, like maybe, just maybe, different could be better than safe. The temple was everything she promised. Wat Phra Yai, sitting high above the city, overlooking the bay. We climbed the stairs in the morning heat, and she told me stories about her childhood, how her grandmother brought her here when she was little, taught her to make proper offerings to the Buddha. Grandmother say, "Some, you must be good girl, Buddha watching always." She pressed her palms together, bowed toward the golden statue. I try to be good. Sometimes hard. I found myself watching her more than the temple. The way she moved, reverent but relaxed, the way she spoke to the old monk in rapid Thai, then translated for me with patient explanations. She wasn't performing. This was real. This was her. You Buddhist, Kun Ev? Not really anything, I said. My parents were Catholic, but it never stuck. Maybe Buddha good for you. Buddha teaches about suffering, how to make suffering stop. She looked at me with those dark eyes, serious now. You have suffering, yes? Everyone has suffering. Yes, but you have big suffering, I can see. We spent 6 hours together that day. Lunch at a local place she knew, where the owner called her by name and refused my money until she insisted. A walk through the old market where she bought fruit for her mother. Mama sick, she explained. Diabetes, very expensive medicine. When I offered to help with the cost, she shook her head quickly. No, I take care Mama myself. I work hard. But I could see the worry in her face, the weight of responsibility that made her look older than 21. That evening we sat on the beach near my hotel. She'd changed from her temple clothes into a simple sundress, yellow with small flowers. She looked young and beautiful and completely out of my league. Tell me about Australia, she said. Is beautiful like movie? I told her about Brisbane, about the hotel business, the stress, the loneliness, about Sarah and how everything fell apart. She stupid woman, Somjai said firmly. Leave good man like you. Thai woman, not so stupid. Thai women are smarter? Thai women know good man hard to find. We know how to make man happy. She moved closer, her hand finding mine in the sand. I make you happy, Kunev. I can see you need happiness. The next week blurred together. She came to my hotel every morning, and we'd explore a different part of Pattaya. Secret beaches, local restaurants, night markets where she haggled in Thai and made everyone laugh. She never asked for money directly, but I found myself paying for everything. It felt natural, right? You, my fan T-Rack, she said one evening, teaching me Thai words. Fan means boyfriend. T-Rack means very love. Very love? Like this. She kissed me, soft and sweet, tasting of mango and possibility. I moved out of the hotel and into a small apartment near her place. Nothing fancy, but it had a balcony where we could watch the sunset. She brought over some of her things, a toothbrush, a few dresses, pictures of her family. Mama very sick, she said one night, showing me a photo of a thin woman in a hospital bed. She need operation. Cost too much money. How much? 50,000 baht, too much. I cannot save so fast. 50,000 baht, about 2,000 Australian dollars. I had more than that in my account, a lot more. I can help, I said. No, I not ask for money. I worry about Mama. But I could see the hope in her eyes, the relief. And when I transferred the money the next morning, the way she cried and held me made me feel like a hero, like someone who mattered. You good man, Kunev, best man I ever know. We fell into a routine. Morning coffee on the balcony, lunch somewhere new, afternoons by the pool or the beach, evenings cooking together, her teaching me simple Thai dishes. She'd curl up next to me while I read, sometimes falling asleep against my shoulder. I never feel so safe, she whispered one night. With you, I feel like normal girl, not work girl. I knew she worked at the bar. I wasn't naive, but with me she was different. Softer, real. She talked about wanting a quiet life, a small house with a garden, maybe children someday. You want children, Kunev? I used to think about it, with Sarah, but she wasn't ready. I ready, if I find right man. The way she looked at me when she said it made my heart race, made me think about possibilities I'd given up on, made me forget that I was 45 and she was 21. Made me forget that I'd come to Thailand for quiet, not for love. But love was what this felt like. Real, unexpected, life-changing love. The first crack appeared 3 weeks later. I woke up to find Somjai already dressed, checking her phone with a frown. Mama need more money, she said without looking at me. Medicine not working. Need different doctor. How much this time? 30,000 baht. She finally looked up, and I saw something in her eyes I hadn't seen before. Calculation. I know is too much. Maybe I find other way. But she didn't find another way. She just waited, letting the silence stretch until I offered, again. 2 days later, she disappeared for an entire afternoon. No text, no call. When I asked where she'd been, she got defensive. I have life before you, Kunev. I cannot always stay with you. I'm not asking you to always stay with me. I'm asking where you went. Why you want to know? You think I do bad thing? No, You think because I work bar, I prostitute? You think I same as other girls? The word hit me like a slap. We'd never talked directly about what she did at the bar, but hearing it said out loud, seeing the anger in her face made everything feel dirty suddenly. I don't think that, I said. I was just worried. You not trust me? I do trust you. But even as I said it, I realized I didn't completely. Not anymore. My friend Paul, an expat who'd been in Thailand for 5 years, pulled me aside at a beach bar the next weekend. Mate, I need to tell you something about your girl. What about her? I've seen her before. With other guys. Western guys. Paul ordered another beer, avoiding my eyes. Look, I'm not saying she's bad. But you're not her first story, Everett. That sick mother thing, I've heard it before. You don't know what you're talking about. Maybe not, but be careful, yeah? These girls, they're good at what they do. Really good. I should have listened. Should have asked the hard questions. Instead, I went home and found Somjai cooking pad thai in my kitchen, humming softly to herself. You love me, Kunev? She asked as we ate. You know I do. Even if I'm not perfect? Even if I make mistakes sometimes? Everyone makes mistakes. She smiled and reached across the table to take my hand. You good man. Too good for girl like me. Don't say that. Is true. You deserve better woman. Australian woman, same age, same culture. I don't want an Australian woman, I want you. But later, after she'd fallen asleep beside me, I found myself staring at the ceiling, Paul's words echoing in my head. You're not her first story. That sick mother thing? I've heard it before. I picked up her phone from the nightstand. She'd left it unlocked, messages visible on the screen. Most were in Thai, but I could see names, Western names. Marcus, David, Tony. I shouldn't have looked. Shouldn't have scrolled through the messages. But I did. and what I saw made my stomach turn. Kunev, Somjai's voice cut through the darkness. She was sitting up, eyes wide with anger. Why, you look my phone. I was just what? Checking on me? Like I am child? Who are these guys? Marcus? David? Friends, just friends. She grabbed the phone from my hands. You have no right look my private message. If they're just friends, why are you so upset? Because you not trust me. You think I prostitute, like Paul tell you. Paul didn't tell me you were. Paul tell you many things, yes? Paul say I bad girl? Paul say I lie about mama? I didn't answer, but she saw the truth in my face. I cannot believe you. She started getting dressed, angry tears in her eyes. I love you, take care of you, make you happy, but you listen to stupid Paul instead of believe me. Somjai, wait. No, wait. You think I am bar girl? I act like bar girl. She grabbed her purse, headed for the door. You want, trust me, you call me. You want to think bad things, you stay alone. She left, and I sat there in the dark, holding her phone that she'd forgotten in her anger, watching message after message from Western men. Messages that looked exactly like the ones I'd been sending her. I should have deleted her number, should have accepted what I was seeing. Instead, I called her the next morning and apologized, begged her to come back, because I was already too far gone to see the truth. I go see Mama tonight, Somjai said on a Tuesday evening, not meeting my eyes. She very sick again. I'll drive you. No need, I take motorbike taxi. She was already putting on her shoes, checking her phone. I come back tomorrow morning, okay? She kissed me quickly and left before I could ask more questions. But something felt wrong. Her phone had been buzzing all day with messages she kept hiding. She seemed distracted, anxious. I tried to read, tried to watch Netflix. But by midnight, I was pacing the apartment, calling her number over and over. It went straight to voicemail. By 2 a.m., I was in my motorbike, cruising the streets of Pattaya looking for her. I checked her usual bar first. The manager, a tired-looking Thai woman, shook her head. Some not work tonight, maybe sick. I drove to every bar on Beach Road, every place we'd been together. No one had seen her. My phone stayed silent. At 4 a.m., I gave up and went home. Sat on the balcony watching the sunrise, imagining car accidents, hospital emergencies, her mother actually dying. All the innocent explanations for why the woman I loved had vanished. My phone finally rang at 10 a.m. Kun Ev? Her voice was different, cold, distant. Where are you? I've been worried sick. I at friend house. What friend? Which friend? You ask too many questions. Always questions with you. Somjai, what's going on? Are you okay? Long pause. I could hear voices in the background. Music. Laughter. I think we need break. The words hit me like a physical blow. What do you mean, break? You too old for me, Kunev. Too jealous. Too, how you say, controlling. I'm not controlling. I was just worried. You check my phone. You follow me. You ask where I go, who I see. I cannot live like this. I don't follow you. Last night you drive around looking for me. People see you, they tell me. She was right. But hearing it said back to me made it sound pathetic, desperate. I love you, I said, hating how broken my voice sounded. Love is not enough, Kunev. I need space. Think about what I want. How long? I don't know. Maybe long time. Maybe forever. The line went dead. I sat there holding the phone, staring at her toothbrush on the bathroom counter, her dress hanging in the closet, the pictures of her family still taped to the refrigerator. For 2 days I called and called, left voicemails begging her to talk to me, sent texts promising to be different, to trust her more, to give her space. Nothing. On the 3rd day, she showed up at my door like nothing had happened. Hi, Kunev. That same sweet smile, that same light in her eyes. I miss you. I should have demanded explanations. Should have asked where she'd been, who she'd been with. Instead, I pulled her into my arms and held her like I might never get the chance again. I was so scared I'd lost you, I whispered into her hair. You not lose me. I just need little time to think. She pulled back and looked at me with those eyes that made me forget everything else. I think about us, about how you make me feel safe, about how much I love you. You love me? Of course I love you. You my fan T-Rack, remember? We made love that afternoon with a desperation I'd never felt before. Like we were trying to erase the 3 days she'd been gone. Like we were trying to prove something to each other. Afterward, as she slept beside me, I noticed things I'd missed before. A new bracelet on her wrist, fresh highlights in her hair, a small hickey on her collarbone that she claimed was from a mosquito bite. But I didn't ask questions. I was too grateful to have her back to risk losing her again. That night, as we lay in the dark, she traced patterns on my chest with her finger. Kun Ev. Yeah? Next time I need space, you let me have space, okay? You not come looking for me, you not call all the time, you just wait for me to come back. Okay. Promise me. I promise. But even as I said it, I knew it was a lie. If she disappeared again, I'd go looking. I'd call every number in her phone, knock on every door, turn over every rock in Pattaya until I found her. Because despite everything, despite the red flags and the lies and the growing certainty that I was being played, I was already lost. Already addicted to the way she made me feel when she looked at me like I was the only man in the world. Even when I knew I wasn't. I want to go Australia with you, Somjai said over breakfast 2 weeks later. I want to see your country, meet your friends. She'd been different since coming back, more attentive, more affectionate, like she was trying to make up for those 3 missing days. I'd started to believe we were getting back on track. You'd like Australia? I think so. Clean air, nice beaches, and you there, so I be happy. She reached across the table and took my hand. But visa very hard to get, very expensive. I'd looked into it already. Tourist visa for someone like Somjai, with no job history, no property, no ties to Thailand except a sick mother, nearly impossible. But there were other options. What about a fiancé visa? I said. She almost choked on her coffee. Fiancé visa? If we were engaged, you could come to Australia. We could get married there. You want to marry me? The question hung between us. I hadn't planned to propose over breakfast at a hotel restaurant, but seeing her face, the mix of surprise and joy and something else I couldn't identify, I realized I meant it. Yes, I said, I want to marry you. She started crying. Right there in the restaurant, mascara running down her cheeks, attracting stares from other diners. You sure? You sure you want Thai wife? I want you. Just you. She threw her arms around me, kissing my face between tears. Yes, yes, yes. I marry you, Kunev. I be best wife ever. The visa process was a nightmare. Forms and documents and fees that added up to more than I'd spent in 3 months of living in Thailand. I had to prove I could support her, prove our relationship was genuine, prove she'd return to Australia with me and not disappear into the immigration system. They want photos of us together, I told her, spreading the requirements across my kitchen table. Proof that we've been in a relationship. I have photos. She scrolled through her phone, then paused. But maybe not good photos. Maybe we need new ones. We spent the next week creating evidence of our love. Staged photos at restaurants, at the beach, at temples. I sent money to Australia to update my bank statements to show I could support a wife. Sold my car to have enough cash in my account. This costs so much money, Somjai said, watching me calculate expenses. Maybe too much. It's worth it. You're worth it. But things started getting strange. She'd post photos of us on Facebook, then delete them hours later. Why do you keep deleting them? Thai people very gossip. If they see I have Australian boyfriend, they make problems for me. What kind of problems? Family problems. They think I only want money from you. Do they? She looked at me with hurt eyes. You think that too? No, my family not like Farang. They want me marry Thai man, have Thai babies. If they see these photos, they make big trouble. It made sense, sort of, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something else was going on. 2 weeks later, she came to me crying. My brother see our photos, he tell Mama. Mama very angry. Why would your mother be angry that you're happy? She say I bring shame to family. Dating older Farang man like bar girl. But we're engaged. We're getting married. I know, but she not understand. She say if I marry you, I cannot come home anymore. Cannot see family. I held her while she cried, feeling the weight of what I was asking her to give up. Her family, her culture, everything she'd ever known. Maybe we should wait, I said. Give your mother time to accept it. No. She pulled back, fierce suddenly. I not let them decide my life. I choose you. I choose love. But the visa was rejected anyway. Insufficient evidence of genuine relationship, the letter said. Applicant's circumstances suggest economic motivation rather than romantic intent. Somjai threw the letter across the room. They think I prostitute too. Everyone thinks same thing. We can apply again. We can get a lawyer. Cost more money. Always more money. She slumped on the couch, looking defeated. Maybe they right. Maybe poor Thai girl cannot marry rich Australian man without people thinking bad things. I'm not rich. You rich to me. You rich to everyone here. She was right. In Thailand, I was rich. In Australia, I was just a burned-out hotel manager with a modest retirement fund. But here, I could afford to save her mother, pay for visas, sponsor a wife. Here, my money made me someone worth loving. We'll figure it out, I said, pulling her close. I'm not giving up on us. But late that night, after she'd fallen asleep, I found myself wondering if I was trying to buy something that wasn't for sale. If love could really be built on visa applications and bank transfers, and the economic gap between a first-world pension and a third-world wage, and if it could, what did that say about me? What did that say about us? I get new job, Somjai announced over dinner. Hotel job. Reception. Which hotel? Seaside Resort. You know it? Near Jomtien Beach. I knew it. Expensive place. International clientele. The kind of hotel that would require perfect English and experience Somjai didn't have. How did you get the job? Manager like me. Say I have good personality for customers. She seemed excited about it, more energetic than I'd seen her in weeks. She talked about the uniform, the training, the chance to use her English with guests from all over the world. Maybe if I have good job, visa people believe our relationship is real, she said. It made sense. A steady job would help her visa application show she had legitimate income, legitimate reasons to return to Thailand if the Australian visa was temporary. But something felt off. The timing was too convenient. And when I offered to drop her off on her first day, she said the hotel provided transportation for new employees. Very professional company, she explained. They take care of everything. For the first week, everything seemed normal. She left every morning at 8, came home at 6 talking about difficult guests and demanding managers. She even brought home a uniform shirt to prove it. But then I started noticing things. She never smelled like cleaning products or hotel air freshener. Her hands weren't rough from handling luggage or cleaning supplies. And when I called the hotel one afternoon to surprise her with flowers, they told me they had no employee named Somjai. Maybe you have wrong number, she said when I confronted her. Many hotels, same name. I called the Seaside Resort on Jomtien Beach, the one you said you work at. Maybe they make mistake. New employees sometimes not in computer yet. But I could see the panic in her eyes. The quick calculation of what story would work. Somjai, just tell me the truth. Where do you really work? I tell you truth. Why you not believe me? The fight escalated quickly. She accused me of not trusting her, of treating her like a criminal. I accused her of lying about everything. In the end, she stormed out, saying she'd stay at her friend's house until I learned to trust her. But this time, I didn't sit at home feeling sorry for myself. This time, I followed her. She took a motorbike taxi to Beach Road, got off at a hotel I'd never seen her mention, the Silver Palm, not a place tourists usually stayed, more like a short-term rental place for locals and expats. I waited across the street, watching the entrance. At 7 p.m., she came out wearing a tight red dress I'd never seen before, got into a car with an older Western man. Gray hair, expensive watch, the kind of arrogant posture that comes with money. They drove to a restaurant I couldn't afford. Through the window, I watched her laugh at his jokes, touch his arm, look at him the same way she looked at me. My chest felt like it was caving in. This was what Paul had tried to warn me about. This was why the visa was rejected. This was why she deleted photos and kept her phone locked and needed space and money and time. I wasn't her boyfriend. I was her customer. I went back to the Silver Palm and waited. At 11 p.m. they returned. She kissed him goodnight, a real kiss, not the polite peck you give a client hand when inside. I should have left then. Should have gone home and packed her things and changed the locks and moved on with my life. Instead, I paid the desk clerk 50 baht to tell me what room she was in, took the elevator to the 3rd floor, stood outside room 312, listening, and heard her voice, breathless and happy, talking to someone in English. "You make me feel so good, baby. I miss you so much." A man's voice replied, American accent, younger than me. "I missed you too, princess. 2 weeks felt like forever. Next time you come, we go to islands together, yes? Just you and me. Whatever you want, beautiful. You know I'll give you anything." The same words I'd said to her, the same promises, the same pet names. I knocked on the door. Silence, then frantic whispering, footsteps. "Who is it?" Somjai called out, her voice higher than normal. "It's Everett." More silence. Then the door opened just a crack, security chains still attached. I could see half her face, makeup smeared, hair messy. "Kun Ev, what you doing here?" I could ask you the same thing. I staying with friend. I tell you this. What friend? The American in there with you? Her eyes went wide. I don't know what you... Open the door, Somjai. I cannot. Is not my room. Then tell your friend to come out here. Let's all have a conversation. Kun Ev, please go home. We talk tomorrow. We'll talk now. I pushed against the door, and the chains snapped. The door swung open to reveal a hotel room that looked exactly like every other hotel room I'd ever seen, except for the man sitting on the bed pulling on his shirt. Mid-30s, athletic build, the look of someone who'd never had to worry about money. "Well," he said in that American accent I'd heard through the door, "this is awkward." Somjai stepped between us, her hand shaking. "Kun Ev, this is not what you think." "What do I think?" You think we... I think you're a liar. I think you've been lying since the day we met." The American stood up, finished buttoning his shirt. "Look, buddy, I don't know what your deal is with but she's with me tonight, so maybe you should just..." "She's with you?" I looked at Somjai. "Tell him about our engagement. Tell him about the visa applications. Tell him about all the money I've given you for your sick mother." The American's expression changed. "Engaged? Dude, she told me you were just some old guy who was helping her out, like a sugar daddy or whatever." Somjai started crying. "Please, both of you stop. It's complicated." "It's not complicated," I said. "It's simple. You're a liar and a cheat, and I was stupid enough to believe you actually cared about me. I do care about you. You have a funny way of showing it." The American was putting on his shoes, clearly wanting to get out of this situation. "Listen, I'm gonna go. Call me tomorrow when you get this sorted out." After he left, Somjai collapsed onto the bed, sobbing. "You ruin everything," she said between tears. "You ruined my life." "I ruined your life?" David was going to take me to America, give me visa, give me good life. Now he think I am bad girl who lie to everyone. You are a bad girl who lies to everyone. She looked up at me with red eyes and a face full of rage. And you are stupid old man who think young girl can love you for free. The words hit harder than a physical slap, because they were true. Deep down, I'd always known they were true. You're right, I said quietly. I am stupid. I walked out of that hotel room and didn't look back. Didn't listen to her calling my name. Didn't respond to the text that started coming 20 minutes later, begging me to come back, to let her explain, to give her one more chance. I just walked through the neon-lit streets of Pattaya, finally seeing the place for what it really was. Not a paradise, not a retirement dream. Just a very expensive way to lie to yourself. I spent 3 days packing, 3 days throwing away the evidence of my stupidity, the photos we'd taken for the visa application, the receipts from all the money transfers, the little gifts she'd bought me with my own money. It all went in the trash. I'd already booked my flight back to Brisbane, already contacted my old assistant manager about temporary work, already started the process of accepting that my Thai retirement was over before it had really begun. Then she showed up at my door. "Kun Ev, please, I need to talk to you." She looked terrible, hair unwashed, eyes puffy from crying, wearing the same clothes I'd seen her in 3 days ago. There's nothing to talk about. There is many things to say. Against my better judgment, I let her in. She sat on the couch where we'd watched movies together, where she'd fallen asleep against my shoulder so many nights. "I know you hate me," she began. "I don't hate you. I just don't trust you." Is same thing? No, it's not. Hate takes energy. I'm just tired. She started crying again. But this time, it felt different, quieter, more real. "I know I hurt you. I know I lie to you. But some things, I never lie about." "Like what?" "Like how you make me feel safe. Like how you first man who never asked me to do things I don't want to do. Like how I really do love you, even if you cannot believe." I wanted to believe her. Even after everything, part of me wanted to believe that something between us had been real. "If you loved me, you wouldn't have been with him. David is. David is business. You are heart." "That's bullshit, Somjai. You don't get to separate them like that. You think it's easy for a girl like me? You think I have many choices?" She wiped her nose with her sleeve. "I work bar since I am 18. You know what that means? You know what men expect?" I didn't want to hear this. Didn't want to feel sympathy for her. David come to Thailand 6 months ago. He fall in love with me, want to take care of me, but then I meet you, and you different. How am I different? I gave you money just like he did. You give me money because you want to help. David give me money because he want to own me. You see difference? No, I don't see the difference. Money is money. She was quiet for a long moment, staring at her hands. "You right," she said finally. "Money is money, and I need money. Mama really sick, Kunev. That part not lie." "Show me." "What?" "Show me proof, hospital bills, medical records, photos, something that proves your mother exists." She pulled out her phone, scrolled through photos, handed it to me. An older woman in a hospital bed, hooked up to machines. The resemblance to Somjai was unmistakable. "This is Mama. Diabetes very bad. She lose 2 toes last month. Need dialysis 3 times per week." I stared at the photo. The woman looked genuinely sick, genuinely suffering. This could be anyone's mother. You want see hospital records? You want call hospital? I give you phone number. That's not the point, Somjai. Even if your mother is sick, even if you need money, that doesn't excuse what you did to me. You right. Nothing excuse, but I want you to understand, I not bad person who enjoy hurting people. I desperate person who make bad choices. She stood up, walked to the balcony door, looked out at the view we'd shared so many mornings. I have something to tell you. Something important. What now? I pregnant. The words hit me like a physical blow. What? I pregnant. 2 months. Whose is it? Yours? How do I know that? She turned around, her face a mix of hope and desperation. Because David always used condom. You not use condom. I felt the room spinning around me. 2 months. We'd been together for 4 months. It was possible. You're lying. I not lie about this. I go to doctor yesterday. I have paper if you want to see. She pulled a folded document from her purse. Medical letterhead, Thai writing, but I could make out the important parts. Positive pregnancy test, estimated gestational age, 8 weeks. This could be fake. You want come to doctor with me? You want hear baby heartbeat? I sat down hard on the couch, my head in my hands. A baby. After everything that had happened, after all the lies and betrayals, there was a baby. What do you want from me? I want you to stay. I want us to be family. After what you did, after David, I finish with David. I tell him I cannot see him anymore. I choose you, Kunev. I choose our baby. And if I don't believe you, if I get on that plane tomorrow anyway, then I raise baby alone. But baby will know about father. Will know father is good Australian man who lived far away. The emotional manipulation was so obvious, so perfectly calculated, that I almost admired it. The sick mother. The pregnancy. The ultimatum disguised as acceptance. I need time to think. How much time? You leave tomorrow. I'll change my flight. Give me a week. Hope flashed in her eyes. You will think about staying? I'll think about everything. After she left, I called my friend Paul. She's pregnant, I told him. Long silence. Then, mate, please tell me you're not falling for this. What if she's telling the truth? What if she's not? What if this is just another story, like the sick mother, like the hotel job, like everything else? But what if there really is a baby? Then you'll figure out how to be a father from Australia. You don't have to destroy your life to be a good dad. But the next morning, I canceled my flight anyway. Because despite everything I knew about her, despite all the evidence that she was playing me, the possibility that she was carrying my child changed everything. The possibility that I might have a son or daughter who would grow up thinking their father abandoned them was more than I could bear. So I stayed, and started the process of convincing myself one more time that this could work, that love could overcome lies, that hope could survive betrayal, that I wasn't making the biggest mistake of my life. The pregnancy lasted exactly 2 weeks. I lose baby, Somjai told me over the phone, her voice flat and emotionless. Doctors say sometimes happen with first pregnancy. Are you okay? Do you need me to come to the hospital? No need. My friend Ning with me. You just continue your life. Something in her tone made my stomach drop. Too casual, too prepared, like she'd rehearsed the words. Which hospital? I want to talk to the doctor. Doctor not speak English, and I already go home. Is finished now. I'm coming over. I not at home. I stay with Ning for few days. I call you later. The line went dead. I drove to her apartment anyway. The landlord let me in when I explained about the miscarriage. The place was empty. Not just empty of Somjai, but empty of everything. All her clothes gone. The photos of her family gone. Even the little Buddha statue she'd kept on the shelf. Like she'd never existed. I found Ning at the bar where Somjai used to work. She was serving drinks to a table of German tourists, the same tired smile I'd learned to recognize. Where is she? I asked. Ning looked at me with something like pity. She go home. To her village. What village? She never told me where she was from. Eisen. Very far from here. Very poor. Give me her address. I want to make sure she's okay. Ning shook her head. She not want to see you anymore, Kuhn Everett. She say is better this way. Because of the baby? Ning's expression changed. Confusion, then understanding, then something that might have been sympathy. What baby? The miscarriage. She just lost our baby. Ning stared at me for a long moment. Then she pulled me aside, away from the other customers. Kun Everett, Som never pregnant. What do you mean? She tell me about you. About how you good man, but she cannot love only one man. She need to work, need to take care family. She say you want too much from her. But the pregnancy test, the doctor's report. Some very smart girl. She know how to make papers look real. She know what men want to hear. The words hit me like a sledgehammer. So there was never a baby? Never, baby. She need time to disappear, to start new with new man. I sat down heavily on a nearby stool, feeling like all the air had been sucked out of my lungs. How many others? What you mean? How many other men has she done this to? The sick mother, the pregnancy, all of it? Ning looked uncomfortable. Some good girl, but life very hard for girls like us. We do what we need to survive. How many, Ning? Maybe 4, 5 men. All farang, all want to save her. I laughed, but it came out like a sob. And I thought I was special. You were special. Some really like you. She say you kindest man she ever meet, but kind not enough to pay rent and medicine and food. The next week was a blur of canceling apartment leases, selling furniture, booking flights. I moved through it like a sleepwalker, mechanically checking off tasks while my mind processed the scope of my stupidity. I'd given her nearly 30,000 Australian dollars over 4 months, money I'd planned to live on for 2 years, gone. The visa applications, the legal fees, the gifts, the dinners, the spontaneous generosity whenever she hinted at a problem, all of it based on lies. But the money wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was sitting in my empty apartment on my last night in Thailand, looking through my phone at all the photos I'd been too sentimental to delete. Photos of us at temples and beaches and restaurants. Photos where her smile looked so genuine, so full of joy, that I could still almost believe it had been real. The flight back to Brisbane was the longest 8 hours of my life. I sat in economy, surrounded by families heading home from vacation, couples holding hands, people who'd had successful trips to Thailand instead of life-destroying ones. Brisbane looked exactly the same as when I'd left. Gray skies, heavy traffic, the same urban sprawl I'd been so eager to escape. My old apartment was gone, so I checked into a cheap hotel and started the process of rebuilding a life I'd been convinced I was done with. The hardest part was calling my old boss at the Riverside Hotel. Everett, how's the retirement treating you? It's not. I was wondering if you had any openings. Anything at all. What happened to Thailand? It didn't work out. He was kind enough not to ask for details. Offered me a consulting position, part-time, helping train new managers. It wasn't much money, but it was something, a start. I moved into a studio apartment in Fortitude Valley, bought a used car, started going through the motions of being alive again, but everything felt hollow. Like I was playing the role of someone who hadn't completely destroyed his life chasing a fantasy. At night, alone in my narrow bed, I'd replay conversations with Somjai, looking for clues I'd missed, signs I'd ignored, moments when I should have known better. The exercise was torture, but I couldn't stop, like picking at a wound that wouldn't heal. The worst part was that I missed her. Even knowing everything I knew, even understanding the depth of her deception, I missed the way she'd looked at me like I was a hero. Missed the feeling of being needed, of being someone's rescuer. Missed believing that love could happen twice in one lifetime, that happiness was possible at 45. I'd gone to Thailand looking for quiet, for peace, for a simple retirement by the beach. Instead, I discovered something I hadn't known about myself, how desperately I wanted to matter to someone, how willing I was to pay any price for the illusion of being loved. And now I was back where I started, except older, poorer, and carrying the weight of my own foolishness like a stone in my chest. Sometimes, late at night, I'd catch myself planning what I'd say if I saw her again. The speech I'd give about how she'd hurt me, how what she'd done was wrong, how she'd destroyed something beautiful for money. But I knew the truth. There had never been anything beautiful to destroy. There had only been a lonely, middle-aged man desperate enough to believe that youth and beauty could love him for free, and a smart young woman who gave him exactly what he was willing to pay for. It's been 8 months since I left Thailand. 8 months of rebuilding, of therapy sessions, of slowly learning to live with the person I'd become. The consulting job turned into a full-time position. I have a proper apartment now, with a view of the Brisbane River. Not as pretty as watching sunsets from a Pattaya balcony, but it's real. It's mine. It's honest. I volunteer at a hospitality training center twice a week, teaching young people how to manage hotels, how to deal with difficult customers, how to build careers in tourism. Last Tuesday, a kid named Jake reminded me so much of myself at his age that it hurt. "I'm thinking about working overseas after I graduate," he told me after class. "Maybe Thailand or Vietnam. See the world, you know." "That's great," I said. "Traveling young is smart. Lots to learn out there." Actually, I was thinking more permanent, like moving there. I met this girl online, from Thailand. She's amazing, really different from Australian girls. The words hit me like ice water. Different how? Just? I don't know. More genuine? Less materialistic? She really seems to care about me, not just what I can do for her career or whatever. I saw myself at 22, full of romantic ideas about finding someone pure and uncomplicated, someone who'd love me for who I was instead of what I could provide. What's her name? Sum. She's from this small village, works in hospitality. She's had a hard life, but she's so positive about everything. Sum. Maybe a coincidence, maybe not. Thailand has millions of women, but how many of them are named Som and work in hospitality and have hard luck stories that make Western men want to rescue them? "Jake, can I give you some advice?" "Sure. Be careful. Not all love stories end well." "What do you mean?" I could have told him everything. Could have warned him about bar girls and sick mothers and pregnancy scares. Could have shown him the bank statements that proved how much romantic delusion costs. Instead, I said, just take your time. Get to know her well before you make any big decisions. Long-distance relationships can be tricky. "Oh, I'm going to visit her next month. She's helping me plan the whole trip. Says she knows all the best places, away from the tourist areas." My heart sank. The same script, the same promises, maybe even the same girl. "Where are you staying?" "She's arranging everything. Says it's better if a local handles it, more authentic." I wanted to shake him, wanted to show him my photos, my receipts, my collection of beautiful lies, but he wouldn't have believed me, just like I wouldn't have believed Paul's warnings. Just like every man who thinks he's different, special, the one who'll finally save her. "Just promise me you'll keep some money in your own name," I said. "Don't give her access to your accounts no matter how much you trust her." He laughed. "Dude, I'm not an idiot. I know about scams." "I know you do. Just promise me." Okay, I promise." After he left, I sat in the empty classroom thinking about cycles, about how every generation thinks they've invented love, discovered passion, found something their parents were too stupid or unlucky to find, about how some lessons can only be learned the hard way. I still dream about Somjai sometimes. Not romantic dreams, not fantasies about what could have been, just memories. Her laugh in that first bar, the way she looked praying in the temple, the morning she made me Thai coffee and got the proportions perfect without asking how I liked it. The dreams aren't painful anymore. They're just there, like old photographs of a trip you took once to a place you'll never go back to. I don't miss her. I miss who I thought I was when I was with her. I miss feeling necessary. I miss the version of myself that could believe in fairy tales and happy endings and love conquering all. But I don't miss the anxiety, don't miss checking my phone every 5 minutes, wondering where she was, who she was with, whether today would be the day she disappeared again. Don't miss the constant negotiation between what I suspected and what I hoped. Don't miss being someone I didn't recognize. The therapy helped. Dr. Martinez, a patient woman who specializes in what she calls relationship trauma, helped me understand that I hadn't just been the victim of a scam. I'd been a willing participant in my own deception. "You wanted to believe?" she told me during one of our early sessions. "That's not stupidity, that's humanity. But understanding why you wanted to believe, that's where the real work begins." The work was harder than I expected. Digging into why a successful, intelligent man would ignore every red flag, explain away every inconsistency, choose hope over evidence again and again. The answer wasn't flattering. I'd been lonely for so long that I'd forgotten the difference between connection and transaction. I'd been so hungry for someone to see me as special that I'd paid any price for the performance. I wasn't the first middle-aged man to confuse being needed with being loved. I won't be the last. But I understand now, and understanding makes all the difference. Last month, I had coffee with Paul. He's still in Thailand, still warning newcomers about bar girls and visa scams and the price of romantic tourism. "You seem different," he said over video chat. "Better." "I feel different. Older maybe, but better." "Any regrets?" I thought about it. "Just one." "What's that?" "I regret not listening to you sooner. Could have saved myself a lot of money and heartache." "Would you really have listened if someone had told you what you told that kid Jake?" "Probably not." "Then don't regret it. Some lessons you have to learn yourself." He was right. I couldn't have learned this any other way. Couldn't have understood the difference between love and loneliness, between generosity and desperation, between being wanted and being used. I had to live it. Had to lose everything I thought I wanted to find out what I actually needed. What I needed was to matter to myself first, to be someone worth knowing before I tried to be someone worth loving. I'm getting there. Day by day, choice by choice, honest conversation by honest conversation. I still work with young people who dream of adventures overseas. Still see the hunger in their eyes for something more exciting than ordinary life. I don't try to kill their dreams. I just try to help them dream with their eyes open. Because the world is full of beautiful lies told by people who need something from you. And the only protection against those lies is knowing, really knowing who you are when nobody else is watching. I know who I am now. I'm Everett, 46 years old, former hotel manager, survivor of my own romantic stupidity. A man who learned the hardest way possible that love can't be bought, trust can't be purchased, and happiness has to come from inside or it doesn't come at all. I'm not the hero of my own story anymore. I'm not the villain either. I'm just a man who made mistakes and learned from them and is trying to do better. And that's enough. For the first time in longer than I can remember, being myself is enough.